Welcome to Seeing Dead People, the mystery storytelling podcast with a clairvoyant twist. We end every episode with Darcy answering a question from a listener about her psychic process. Whatever is going on in her head, I think it's so cool and astonishing. Trust me, you're going to have your own questions. Thank you. So now we get the eagerly anticipated glimpse into your personal psychic process. I get to ask a listener's question.
All right.
Today, we have a question from Dan. He really wanted to know, have you ever, and you mentioned this a little bit in our last episode, but I would like to pull it out to you. Have you ever been really terrified yourself, having an experience with some kind of supernatural entity?
Yes. Several times that I can remember, but I think the last one was 7 years ago.
Okay.
And a friend of mine said that her daughter, and my friend is intuitive as well, she said her daughter's son, who was 3, was having a problem with an entity.
Oh.
In their bedroom, in his bedroom. Okay. And that it was like, he said it was like a child or a man at the time that would come into his room and try to play with him or jump out of the closet at him or under the bed. And they asked me if I would go and have a look.
Okay.
Okay, and of course, when they're telling me the story, I heard a voice inside my head said, yeah, right. Okay, and I ignored the voice and I said, yeah, I'll go look. So I tootled over to their place. It was a Friday night after work, and I wasn't expecting really to see much. Now, I should have known better because it was an army barracks redone.
Ah.
They changed army barracks into townhouses.
Okay.
And they had this dog. Oh, he must have been a cross between a Saint Bernard and, say, an Irish wolfhound, because he was huge.
Okay.
I have 36-inch inseam,
all
right? His head came up to my hip.
Oh, wow. And they have a little 3-year-old boy?
And a 7-year-old daughter.
Okay.
And this dog just loved them.
Right.
Okay? So when I walked in the house, the first thing my friend's daughter noted was the dog didn't growl at me. She went, that's unusual. He growls at everyone. And I thought, okay. And then she took me up the stairs to the boy's bedroom, and I actually hesitated crossing the threshold. So I made her go downstairs, pick up a couple of things for me, and bring them up before I would cross the threshold. And, of course, stupid me, I put my phone down on the side table and purse down when I walked in the house. So I said to her, you go on outside with the kids and let me deal with this. And so I walked across the threshold. The lights were on. They shut off when I walked across. And I closed my eyes and I went, this is not funny. And I turned the lights back on and I saw an image right away of a man in a uniform. And then he became a boy. And I did my little thing, had to talk to him, explain to him he didn't belong there. And I was probably up there for half an hour.
Really?
And, yep, at the end of the conversation, because every time I went to leave the room, I couldn't leave the room. So at the end of the conversation, I told him I was done and I was leaving and he was leaving too, but he was going his own way and he was not going to disrupt anyone. So as I go to leave the room, all of a sudden the dog is at the door, standing on the threshold. He will not come into the room. He's looking past me and he's growling.
Wow.
On the back of my head, neck, body, all stood on end.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, and I'm thinking, I can't leave the room because I was at that point terrified the dog would lunge and I knew it wasn't at me. And I had to stand there for another 15 minutes till my friend's daughter came into the house and said, hey, Darcy, are you done yet? And I went, you need to get your dog. And as soon as I walked out of the room, the dog sat down, rolled over on his back, and let me rub his stomach.
We'd love to hear from you with questions for Darcy about her psychic process or suggestions for other mystifying situations you would like us to investigate. So please, shoot us an email to info@radiosidney.ca with Seeing Dead People in the subject line.
This has been a program of Radio Sydney.